Hello everyone, welcome back to Zero Tolerance TV. I am ZT, and today what I've got for you is just a replay from the TL replays section. I think that will probably be a staple of this channel, along with the kind of classic War Pro games that I can't find good English casts of. This one is this one is Stats, is our Protoss in the top left, versus none other than Flash in the bottom right, the undisputed best StarCraft player of all time, and we'll probably see why in this game. And here's one on Fighting Spirit, a classic but kind of admittedly broken map. So we'll see how it goes. I did read a few of the comments on this one, and everybody was just saying how it was a great game, so I thought, yeah, okay. Seems like a good time. I do not know what they're saying. Those don't even look like letters, to be honest. I'm not sure what that is at all. So we're just gonna be ignoring the chat. Okay, stats here. I'm gonna go out and scout. Gateway into scout. Pretty normal. No Nexus first today. What is Flash's plan here? Looks like a barracks. Okay. They are definitely saying something to each other. Not sure what it is. I don't know if this game was part of a tournament or anything. It had a name, quick description, and that was kind of it. Which I didn't really read a lot of. The name was kind of intriguing, and maybe I'll tell you what that was at the end if I remember, but I don't want to spoil the game. Not that it's a spoiler, but whatever. It kind of gives me an idea of where this might end up being, but we're not really sure. Yeah, they're just talking up a storm. Again, no idea what they're saying. The green here is Flash, so there you go. If that helps you. Yeah, Cybercore started up. Probably. Well, I guess we'll have to see. You could potentially make a second gateway, but it's kind of late for that. I think this is going to be a one-gate expand. Could definitely be one gate into Robo. That's certainly an option. Flash has a factory going. Has taken most of his SCVs off gas. I would think this is probably just a factory expand then. There's not much shown here. Okay, there's range that just got started. Pretty safe build. I think the safest, well, maybe not the safest, but the most standard sort of safe way to take an expansion is with 2-gate goon. But 1 gate is definitely a variant I've seen, and you know, Dragoons are pretty freaking good. 1 gate worth of goons is probably good enough, usually. Now it does depend on what your opponent is doing. Okay, quick add-on, and SCV's back into gas. So it doesn't look like Flash has taken expansion quite yet. See, Stats hasn't really banked up much for minerals either. Okay, never mind. I thought that might be the tech, but no, not yet. Neither player is really revealing anything so far. Flash is making quite a few Marines. Okay, and a Robo is started. Could be a Reaver Robo. Generally, if there's something like really close to the ramp, you kind of know what that is, but could definitely be just for observers as well. Mines started for Flash, and he's producing a siege tank. Oh yeah, okay. And he has banked a bunch of minerals, so we do know this is going to be just a factory expand with a tank first. Stats hasn't really started to bank too much yet. He is up at 200 minerals here, so looks like he could be getting ready to take a base. We'll have to see if he sends a probe down here. None yet. If he's not going to make a or if he's not going to make his base soon, I'm going to have to wonder what is his plan. If it's just a Reaver drop. Yeah. Okay, shuttle started. Oh, could be a Dragoon. He might want to elevator Dragoons in, but Flash is moving out here with his Marines, and the Dragoons do not... Actually, they do now have range, so they can kind of kite this, but ends up Flash doesn't push the matter too much. And, okay. Robotic support bay. So it is going to be a Reaver drop. He might, well, let's say he might get speed, but I don't know. There's quite a bit of gas banked up for stats, so he might be able to afford that as well as the Reaver right when it finishes. Reaver has started, and Flash, with his Flash senses, is like, okay, what are you gonna try to drop something in here? Guess I better have detection and anti-air by building missile turrets. Looks like, here we go, stat is about to expand. So this is a Reaver into expansion. Definitely gonna need to get something done with this Reaver, as Flash's CC is already mining, and actually pretty well saturated too. So he's gonna have a worker lead, I would think, but actually Flash is 3 workers behind at the moment. He must have cut probes. These are set up for DTs more than anything, I think, but Flash has a lot of detection, so I'm not really sure. Maybe he's just trying to kill anything that walks in, but these look like DT mines, where he's not exactly sure what stats is doing and doesn't want to just die to DTs. But he did have the turrets, so I'm not exactly sure. Stats, meanwhile, is just doing some normal Protoss stuff. Might even be taking a quick third here. I don't hate that. When you're behind, when your natural is behind Terrans, you probably do need to try to take a quick third if you want to stay ahead on economy. Really going Reaver into double expansion seems like a fine way to play. Okay, actually the shuttle is here. 1 Dragoon loaded up with this Reaver. Often it's 2 Zealots, but 1 Dragoon here. Gonna do the same job. Really not much of an opportunity here for Bisu, but, or sorry, Stats. Does pick off that Vulture. Not bad. Free Vultures are always nice, but no economic damage done yet. No SCVs killed or anything like that. No depots. Those are actually pretty annoying to kill. And yeah, we do third started now for Stats. Siege is finished up here, and speed for Vultures is about to finish. Yeah, Stats doing a good job, just taking out these mines as well. That's kind of a nice part about bringing a Dragoon with you instead of Zealots. Zealots obviously can't deal with mines very well like that, and the Reaver can, but that costs minerals, so kind of nice to have a unit that can shoot and also doesn't cost minerals to do so. Got something here. I'm not sure what this is. It's a command center. Okay. So Flash just going to be taking his third, doing normal Flash things. He's definitely not the sort of player who needs to win off 1 or 2 bays. He's got some pretty good macro. Stats pushing across the map with his Dragoons. With an observer though, so going to be able to take out any mines on the way. Actually, Stats has quite a few observers. 3 out here in front of Flash's base already. Gonna end up pushing this eBay back with his singular Dragoon. Get it? Get it? No. Not gonna get it. Can't kill it all on your own. But he does push it back, so I guess that's a sort of win. Worker count 4 ahead for Flash, but with a third Nexus already finished, Stats should catch up a little bit. Actually, Flash's CC is done already as well, so he's gonna be landing that probably pretty soon. Oh, looks like Stats almost picked off that tank. I thought he was gonna get it there for a moment, but does end up being pulled back in time. The Reaver took a little bit of damage, but not anything that's too terrible. Mines, thankfully, don't shoot up. Can you imagine? Never heard of a ground mine shooting up. That'd be pretty wild. Make observer! Or probe. Oh, I just hit P. Trying to build a probe for him, and it ends up pausing the replay. So, Flash is transferring... Okay, not a ton yet. What just happened? He shot something. Was there a mine block? I think there might have been a mine blocking where the CC would go. And so Flash killed it, but with his tanks, so it splashed onto a different tank. Not sure exactly what that was. Shuttle still running around. It looks like Stats is going to be picking up his 4th base. Definitely a feature of this matchup is Protoss just trying to expand everywhere. few vultures out on the map here for Flash. Each side. He does have the APM to micro 2 groups of vultures at once. It's true. I know you thought Flash might not, but he does. Now it looks like we're just shaping up into a decently long game here. So I guess the real question is, what is Stats' plan? Is this going to be like Shuttle Man? Is this going to be... Oh, never mind. I literally clicked on the Tribunal and just didn't read it. Okay, so it's Arbiters. Good upgrades. Legs are getting finished here. I think... Oh, no. You know, I thought he had armor, but no. So, +1 attack is going to be the first upgrade. This Reaver, fighting these vultures. Definitely wants to be careful to not walk onto a mine. Gotta be watching for those. Pretty annoying for Stats. I think he lost his first probe or something. I think the Reavers killed it. Or the vultures killed it. Not entirely sure. Looks like they want to try to cancel this base, but honestly with one Reaver here, it's just not an option. Vultures do not fight well against Reavers. Just so everyone's aware. Reavers are pretty good. Flash is just landmines everywhere, doing Terran stuff. Actually has 2 vultures still in this base. Might be able to get some probe kills later on if Stats forgets about those, and I think he basically has. Hopefully Flash doesn't forget about them too. Okay, and now moving out. So this is, what, 9 tanks? Not sure this is going to be any sort of push quite yet. Dead Vulture is dead. And here's Stats, adding on some cannons. Very standard stuff. So annoying to deal with Vulture run-bys. And here's that moment. Does Flash sense it? There's a vulnerable probe here. No, he doesn't. Even Flash misses some things, I guess. Looks like a... Yeah, I think an observer just got taken out. Don't know what else that would have been. There's 5 Marines just chilling. Flash did make quite a few Marines at the beginning of the game. Kind of just waiting for those 2 vultures to go kill that probe. Stasis has started for Stats here. Does he have a finished Arbiter? That's a good question. I don't see one. I'll have to watch the mini-map carefully to look for Arbiters. Arbiters are very exciting units, but also kind of annoying to observe. Especially when there are observers littered all over the map that kind of look like Arbiters sometimes. I think the first Arbiter must have finished. Yeah, he was like halfway done producing it. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. It exists. There's an Arbiter on this map. Pretty sure. Oh, there's actually a Vulture up here. Oh my god. Oh, one of these 2 from down here. And so it lived. Jeez. Slippery little buggers. Cannoning up this base is Stats. Gonna be, I mean, it's not the perfect defense. When Vultures have a bunch of upgrades, they'll kill that pretty quickly anyway. +3 Vultures do a lot of damage. Flash is building quite a few turrets, it looks like. You may have sniffed out that it is... Let me do it here. No, that's not the one. There we go. Actually, it does not look like he's seen the Arbiters quite yet. This is actually 2 Stargate Arbiter. Wow. Wish I could tell where these were rallied to. Alright, we're going to watch this one. Assuming... Yeah, okay, we're fine. Really just going into a super long game here from these 2 players. Both basically maxed already. And Flash has actually banked more than Stats, so I guess that tells you something about this game. I guess Flash is ahead. Shocker. And he also wants to start killing these bases of Stats. Makes sense when you're maxed out. You might as well start doing something. Look at all these freaking vultures. This is like 3 control groups of vultures. There's so many vultures. And just look at the mini-map. Flash is all over the place. Yeah, this tank gonna start shelling the base. Really tough for Stats to do something about these tanks. He's gonna have to bring units over here. Units of some sort. Stats pushing over here to try to clear out some of these mines. This is not going to be a great attack for him. There's quite a few vultures. Actually, a pretty good stasis, though. Hits a lot of the vultures, and the vultures are actually behind the tanks, so not a terrible engagement for Stats. This is going a lot better than I thought it would. I kind of foresaw a bunch of Dragoons just getting splattered all over the floor, but not too bad. Good storms as well, taking out a lot of these vultures, but it looks like Flash is able to weather the storm, and once all the vultures are dead, Stats decides to pull back. Still not a terrible engagement there for Stats. Better than I thought it was going to go. Stats is evacuating this base, probably just going to give it up, which is fair. You can just bring these probes over to this base or something, and they're going to mine plenty. I love this one gateway. Obviously, eventually he'll make a lot more and sort of have a second production area up here, but really important to have at least one gateway at these sort of satellite bases so that you can make High Templar to defend them. I think it's actually the last game. Yeah, it was the last game that was on the channel, DeWalt vs. Saxory, where I wanted DeWalt to make a gateway so that at a top right base as well, so that he could start making High Templar. Because he had 2 Archons and 4 Dragoons at a Nexus, and they were just kind of on the island. Turns out they were fine. He didn't even need the High Templar, but I think some DTs and High Templar would have been pretty nice there. Yeah, this is so abusive. This is, I think, why you can't build everywhere, because Terran would just put supply depots everywhere, and it would be real annoying. So Stats says, you killed my base, Flash, but you know what? I'm going to take another one on the opposite side of the map and make you run all the way over here. See if this is going to be a fight. I think one Dragoon just pulled some mines into vultures, so not so bad for Stats here. And we do actually see he's ahead on supply, and the banks are basically even, so he's done a decent job of evening those up. Now taking out these forward turrets. Definitely want to open up this area, but my god, look at all these mines. You gotta watch over them mines. They'll get you. A lot of cannons going up at this base. Sadly for Protoss, cannons are not that good at fighting siege tanks. The whole, like, range thing. Okay, 4 High Templar in this shuttle. What is the plan? Nothing. I think he's actually going to try to drop... Oh, wow, there's a recall over here that I missed. A big army recalled into this base here in Flash's Natural, getting probably some SCV kills, down to 60 now. I didn't look at what he was at before. Flash does bring back a solid army. Not a great storm. Also, really just not good storms in general, unfortunately, for Stats. But, you know, okay, those are some better storms. Ended up killing all those vultures. Question, did they live? Looks like... Yeah, it looks like 2 of the High Templar are going to die, but 2 lived. These 3 tanks shelling the base. You can actually drop... 1 Zealot would be so good to just drop right there, but... Okay, and Flash realizes, hey, that would be kind of annoying. Dropping a Templar up on the... Okay, 2 storms down. Should kill that 1 tank. The other Templar pops out and drops 2 more storms, but a defense matrix will save that second tank, and both the High Templars get taken out. So Flash is still going to be able to pressure this base. I'm going to try to do a better job of watching for Arbiters, because it's kind of like one of the more exciting moments in a game of StarCraft, at least for the PvT, is watching the Arbiter fly in. For me, anyway, as a filthy Protoss player. Now, these 2 Arbiters do not have any energy. I think maybe even got EMP'd. 1 Zealot, 2 Zealots actually take out that last tank, but there are actually a lot more tanks here, and now they're in range of the space. So it looks like Flash will be able to deny this one. Some probes transferring in and just dying. Not great for them. Luckily, Stats did notice in time. I was able to save most of them. Pretty big army walking down here. See what Stats can get done with it. I am getting pretty worried for him. He does have a pretty nice bank, but a little behind on supply. Okay, Mr. Arbiter, what you got? Looks like... Oh, there's no way. Look at all these turrets. I mean, I think this is exactly what Flash is worried about and why he's building them all. Got a recall. Oof. Yeah, just giving away your turret or Arbiter for free is pretty painful for Stats. Look at all these turrets. That is so many. Okay. Artosis, take notes. Make turrets. They help. That was also a damaged Arbiter already, so I think a full health Arbiter may have actually gotten the recall off there. Actually, I do think a full health Arbiter could get a recall off. You'd have to do it on top of the turrets, but pretty sure that would work with a full health. Definitely works if you have a Corsair in front. But here we see Stats is attacking in. Actually missed pretty big engagement there, talking about randomly nothing. Have to apologize for that. 2 storms going down on the tanks, and yeah, a decent clear out for Stats, but ultimately not the win he really needs. What Stats needs is to take at least one of these 2 bases, maybe both even. This base is like only Flash could ever really take it. Siege tanks kind of make it possible, but really don't. Even then, it's really hard. I'm gonna have to keep checking back here. This SCV, I need to see more turrets. Come on, more turrets. Build the turrets. Here we go. Here it comes. Hell yeah. Boom. How many turrets? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is 13 turrets? Come on, Flash, you can do better. 13 turrets in one base? Not enough. So that Arbiter is ready for a recall. So let's see what he's trying to do. Stats is just moving his army over here, sort of the old-fashioned way. Looking at the supply, it's looking a little tough for Stats. He's down 30 here. He's going to need to make something pretty big happen. Now, Arbiters are good at making big things happen, so he does have the right tech. Also getting shield upgrades, which is pretty rare. Looks like not more turrets. Not really an engagement. Stats did lose that observer as he was trying to clear out some mines. Okay, and Flash is bringing his army over here. I think this base is going to get canceled. Like, 12 Dragoons is just not going to matter. But here we go. 2 Arbiters as well. Maybe some good stasis. Could put one maybe on the ramp and try to use it as an old-fashioned force field. Okay, Storm there, but not perfect. And actually, yeah, that is a really nice stasis there, blocking the ramp off. So Flash is not going to be able to get up this ramp, at least not right now. Definitely don't lose your Arbiter. Decent Storm there. Hits some Goliath and I think a Vulture there. Here's that. Yeah, I believe EMP is 100 energy. Here it comes. Okay, well that Templar is not close to it yet anyway. Could EMP this, but it looks like it's just going to die. Run, Archon! No. Archon did not choose life. No, only that one. Come on, Flash. Here we go. I missed another one. These guys are tricksy. This is a much better recall than the first one, I think. Flash is a lot more out of position, and that's probably why Stats was attacking over on the left side of the map, just to pull the army over there. And so this recall looks like it's done a decent job. 2 Zealots up here in the main. They might be able to get on this tank. Actually, it's not siege, so it'll still be able to fight. Flash does end up cleaning this one out. All these units are dead, but a decent recall. I think those are the types of recalls that can get you some time. Be helpful if that was time to get carriers, but it is just time to get more Arbiters. Double Stargate Arbiter is a lot of Arbiter, though. They are very expensive units, but very powerful spellcasters. And this is what I was talking about, getting more gateways up in another main. 9 gates over here. How many in the main, actually? 5, 9 as well. So 18 gates. Yep, 18. It's a lot of gateways. Stats can definitely make a lot of units. Another recall up in the main here. Mostly Dragoons this time, but again, this is a decent one. Tough to attack up a ramp into Dragoons, but Flash is able to clean this up pretty quickly, it looks like. I think this is the Arbiter, though, so it lived. I think if your Arbiter lives, that makes your recall like substantially better. A lot of what Stats is trying to do right now is just bank a lot of recalls and stasis and stuff like that. Just get a ton of value out of these arbiters. So everyone you can save is, well, I think it's 350 gas. They ain't cheap. They are very expensive. Flash taking a page out of Stats book, or perhaps just out of the Protoss book, and building factories in the other main as well now. This way, it will be tough if... one of the ways to beat Terran is just to get a bunch of units onto their production and sort of put them into a situation where they have to pull back, and then you hit them somewhere else, or they just lose all their stuff. But this way, you know, even if he gets on top of all this production, Flash still has a backup production. Bit of a scuffle going on here. Maybe a bit more than a scuffle once these tanks siege. Right now, Dragoon's doing a pretty good job of taking out Vultures. You know, actually, it's quite a low Vulture count. Stats maybe could have attacked in there if he'd led with the Zealots. Okay, gonna be loading up a couple Zealots into this shuttle, I think. Run away, probe. No, dies. Dies to death. And yeah, that is in range. Pretty annoying. Shuttle, no! Oh, wow, there were 2 High Templar on that shuttle. That's pretty annoying, just to lose that to a random Goliath that walked off the map. But, you know, this isn't horrible for Stats. At least that wasn't until he stopped attacking, basically. Okay, and bringing in the Dragoons to flank this army. Decent stasis. He did get the Science Vessel, which is a nice target. Killing another one there, just outright. The Goons able to target it down. A defense matrix on this tank, but it looks like it's just an overwhelming force of Dragoons, and they will be able to take out this tank army. Of course, when I'm actually looking for the follow-up Arbiter, it doesn't happen. And yeah, wow, a lot of those Dragoons got smashed by tanks there. Pretty painful for Stats when you lose Dragoons like that. Tank getting up here onto the high ground really didn't need to be. I think this is just so that it doesn't need to have something else for vision. That's what it looks like to me. This is turning into a pretty epic game. I mean, Flash is ahead, but Stats pretty close to maxed. He's got a decent bank, more than what Flash has. There's an engagement here. Okay, stasis on those Vultures. Not ideal, but did hit the Science Vessel. And another one on those tanks, so Stats may actually be able to push into this area with all these stasis going down. And the Zealots are on top of the tanks, and Dragoons end up taking that northernmost tank out, so looks like Stats should be able to clear this area. And if he can win this fight hard enough, he will be able to clean up these units that are stasis after as well. It's a pretty big deal. Stats Flash reinforcing, excuse me. Yeah, looks like Stats can't quite win this battle how he wants to. Ideally, you have some Zealots or something left over to just go and surround these units, but didn't win it quite like that. Although the Arbiters do not have any anti-air hitting them, so they are able to just work on these tanks. Arbiters don't do a ton of damage, but they do some. They are flying units that shoot down. Nice storm there, actually. Kills off 3 tanks. Really well played. Killing off your own shuttle, though, less good. Hopefully there wasn't anything too important in there. To those Templar, excuse me, end up forming an Archon, but the tanks were able to just shoot that thing down. And look at these Arbiters, man. How many kills are on these? These Arbiters have 10 kills. But how many? 10 damage. This is half a Dragoon shot. And those are all good units, too. Those are tanks and I think a Science Vessel. Another one going down to the Arbiters. Who knew that Arbiters are actually for damage? Well, perhaps a little too aggressive with that Arbiter. And, oh no, loses the other one as well. Third Arbiter walks in. Stasis on 2 Goliaths, but really not that great. And ends up getting taken out. Another stasis went down here on these tanks. So Stats does feel okay pushing into this area. And, you know, again, this is not a terrible trade. He is getting on top of tanks with Zealots, which is generally pretty good for Protoss. Looks like this army will get taken care of, and the Arbiter is going to go down now as well. Stats, he noticed in time and actually pulls it away, so it looks like it's going to live. Okay, saving that Arbiter, always good. More units from Stats coming down to fight these tanks. Maybe he can take them out before the stasis ends and get into a good position, but no, the Vultures are able to clean them up, and another rallying force of Vultures comes in, but yeah, here's more gateway units. I did say Stats had a ton of gateways. I think 18 the count was, so definitely able to produce a lot of these pretty solid gateway units. Zealots get on top of these tanks, and vultures. Almost all the vultures die. Only one left, and that zealot does finish off the tank. Also going to finish off this vulture. Vulture. 4 kills on one zealot. Not so bad. But he does end up dying, and these units were not in a good place. This is too many tanks. Siege or not, does not really matter. Ends up trading for 2 of them. Quite a few units for 2 tanks. In the meantime, Stats has started mining at this base, but Flash is still pressuring it and really has more control of the area than Stats does. I think Stats, now is the time to recall into this base or something, you know? It seems like he's kind of given up on the recalls a little bit, but I actually think they could work pretty well right now. Solid Storm there on a lot of Goliaths, doing a ton of damage. Lots of double storms, it looks like, so lots of stuff dies, but all the Templar are taken out, and still a pretty healthy tank count. Okay, and yeah, sure, Stats does call GG. It was looking pretty bad. Still a pretty epic game. So I think this is what the replay description was referencing. The title was The Great Wall of China, so I was looking for it. I figured it was just going to be like some tanks, but I like this too. Just the turret wall. You got to keep that stuff up. Well, that does conclude our cast today. This is just a rando game, so no follow-up tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you tune in for the next one.